going on, guys? My name is Matt with Carolina Coops, and I am down in Miami, Florida. Behind me is not a chicken coop. I know, surprise, right? All my life, this has been something I've been wanting to do, and that is actually build a pigeon coop. So what I want to do in this walk around video is show you guys what we did with this coop to make it very unique, to make it very special, like Carolina Coops always loves to do. And I guess number one, we're always solving problems when we were coming up with solutions. The biggest obstacle in my mind was we're in South Florida, okay? And it's not a normal pigeon coop from all the research I've done, but I love the way we have designed it in the end because there's a ton of airflow and there's other little bells and whistles that I can't wait to show you. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, right away, I know you guys all ask, well, Matt, what size is it? So I don't know. I got to figure it out real quick. I believe we have what I'm going to call a run, or maybe the flight area up here in the front that I believe is 16 feet by 10 foot. And in the back, that's where all the magic happens, right? That's where these wonderful breeding boxes are. And that is, I believe, an 8 by 10 area. So if I did my math correctly, it should be 24 foot long. And that is really important. It doesn't matter if it's chicken coops, and even with pigeons, space is everything. I just got done doing an interview with a customer, and that was something that he mentioned is space is everything. And this is what we love. You never want it too small. Now, the other thing too is the height. It is probably, I think, about 12 foot tall to the peak, but our sidewalls are just under 8 foot. And there's a very particular reason for it, and that's where this all started when we were trying to figure out what's gonna work perfect for this customer. If you kind of come over here, I wanna get you the shot of that, what probably right now, you guys are so used to seeing my egg hutches, it's a bumped out nook or device, whatever that actually, it's a bumped out closet. We haven't named it yet, okay? Maybe I'll come up with a name before this video is over. So we bumped out the breeding boxes. And there's two reasons why we did that. We actually created more floor space, which is huge. That's what the customer wanted. So we bumped them out, and we're like, oh my gosh, if we bump them out, it's gonna be just like our egg hutches, but we have breeding boxes in there that are very, very tall. So what happens is we love our 512 pitch. So that determines the height of these walls because we got to closet in those breeding boxes, and then there we go with our 512 pitch that determines the peak. All right, so since we're on the outside, let's go ahead and keep walking around the outside. And before I forget, okay, for all my YouTube chicken police, maybe now I got YouTube pigeon police, right down here is our predator apron. This is no different. You don't have to just do this on chicken coops. You can do this on any run enclosure that you're trying to keep your predators from digging in from underneath. So they just hit this fencing material. They don't know to come out 24 inches and then go underneath. This is probably one of my favorite parts about this entire custom design is when we realized that we're going to bump out the breeding boxes. What happened was, and I think it had to be Evan, who's just a genius at his designing. He's like, wait a minute, we can just add the doors to the back of the breeding boxes on the outside. So now when it comes time to clean out these breeding boxes, you don't have to go inside the breeding area and disturb your pigeons. Check this out. We got these little turn knobs, just that simple. We're gonna open this up, slide this in. Oh, I love it. The family here already has the nest bowls, I hope they're called, in here ready to go for when the breeding pigeons come in. And actually, one of the things I absolutely love, our friends over at Wirecloth, who we've been doing business with for so long, they hooked us up with a proprietary floor. And I say proprietary because I had this special made based on some of the requirements this customer said they must have. And what that was is when I went and met with him out in Vegas to see one of his existing pigeon coops, there were diamonds in the floor, and the pigeons were getting their toes caught and their bands caught. So I was like, okay, we'll just do a 1/2 inch by 1 inch square. And this is crimped, so it's a lot more rigid. And most importantly, it's 304 stainless steel. It's in the outside, even though it's protected by the elements, but it's gonna get hot and humid here. So this will never rust and make it very, very easy to clean, right? So thank you, Wirecloth man, for making those for us. And you just pop them in. I'm gonna try to make it look easy, maybe with the art of editing. There we go, just like that. Now, it doesn't stop right there. Here we go, you ready? I bet you guys didn't know that, right? Let me put that back in. I love the precision of everything we do. And if you look at these pieces of acre right here going laterally, okay, they're so precise. You probably didn't even know, yes, that pulls out So easy. So we can take these wherever we got to take them to make it really, really easy to clean. Whether it's we're going to use the sun, which is the world's best sterilizer, if you will. Maybe we'll just put them out in the sun and let it kill off whatever needs to kill off. You can take a torch to it and torch it. A lot of people clean their breeding boxes that way, or you can use solutions to clean it. Now, I also want to mention something that I'm very, very proud of about this particular project. I mentioned Acre. Our friends in Modern Mill over in Mississippi, they are the manufacturers, the inventors of this product, okay? And we started using this 5 years ago, fell in love with it. Last year, we decided we're gonna put it in all of our chicken coops, and here we are using it for the breeding boxes. I knew this was gonna be the best material for the breeding boxes because, again, South Florida, hot and humid. This material will never rot. It is extremely easy to work with. The bugs want nothing to do with it. There's no off-gassing from it. And also, one of my favorite parts is the reason why it's called Acre is we save so many trees in the process of the manufacturing of this. This is actually 51% rice hull, and it's an upcycled material so that we can use a product that would have normally been wasted. So that's where we get the upcycling from, okay? Those are the breeding boxes. These are these big, beautiful outside doors, and I promise you, okay, I'll just show you real quick. Here's our primary door. There's our stationary door. We put a barrel bolt up there. So we have breeding boxes in all, both closets on both sides. So I'll show you that more on the inside. So actually, while we're on the outside, let's come around here. Now, it is critical, and this is true in any type of an animal enclosure, in my opinion, no matter where you are. Ventilation and airflow is absolutely critical. So what we decided to do is actually leave this wall open so we have tons of ventilation. I want it this wall as big as that wall is down there so this building can just breathe very, very easily. So here we are in front of the flight pen, in front of the run area. It's just like our chicken coops. We have our regular run door. We're just gonna open this up. And the one thing I noticed with pigeons, customers like to leave their doors open a lot. So when the birds are up, flying around, it's like flying a kite without a string, okay? In this case, this customer has rollers, and it was amazing. It was like they're playing a yo-yo game up there. It was just absolutely fascinating. So I'm just gonna take this hook, I'm gonna hook it open. We do this with all of our chicken coops. That way, should the customer have to get pulled away for whatever reason, if those pigeons land, there's nothing in their way from getting in there. So I just absolutely love that. All right, so let's go inside. And before I forget, yes, there's our lockout cable right there so you don't get locked inside your pigeon coop. So let's go inside. What a difference already. So we got a metal roof up there. There's two reasons why I love a metal roof on a run area. And I'm gonna add a third reason right now, which has specifically to do with pigeons, okay? So number one, we got the metal roof. I love it because it's very, very economical. You can cover a lot of square footage and it's a lot quicker to install versus asphalt shingles, which are going to be more expensive. And of course, if you are accounting for your time and labor of installing it. Number two, it feels 20, 30 degrees cool in here. It's probably only 10, but my God, so much cooler in here. And number three, when it comes to pigeons, you don't want your birds landing on the roof. Let's say you're racing them and you want them, they're coming back to the coop. They just got done flying maybe 1,200 miles. When they come land on that roof, you got to get them in the coop so they can register that band, right? At least that's how my understanding is. But more importantly, you just don't want the pigeons up on the roof comfortable. So they're not comfortable on a metal roof because they do slide. And plus it can get warm, okay? It is out in the sun, but the metal does such a good job reflecting that heat, bouncing back up into the sky. So I've noticed the birds come down a lot sooner, and the customer here has been very, very thankful of that. Now, the other thing, speaking of temperature that I want to mention, we rolled the dice with this one, and I think we made a really, really good decision. So we have been using Sherwin-Williams for a very, very long time. And we met with our Sherwin-Williams rep, letting them know about this particular project. We're going down in the south. It's gonna be really, really hot. I need something very, very durable. We need a dark color, but it has to be vinyl safe. We have to have vinyl safe paints because of Acre. Sherwin-Williams actually has a wonderful product, and we used it on this one for the first time, called Super Deck. Now, Super Deck is meant to be on those deck boards, all right? So this is a material meant to really withstand all that wear and tear, okay? But also, we have to make it vinyl safe. But how do you do that with a dark color? Well, Sherwin-Williams has figured it out because what they do is they inject at the factory an IR material. And my understanding is whatever's in that's an IR reflective, it actually reflects the sun rays, just like I was just talking about the metal roof, back up into the sky, and it keeps it cooler. And we've noticed since we've been down here, it is not warm to the touch at all. I'm sure some of you guys can relate. You go to that pool deck and the sun shining on those dark boards, you can't even touch it. This is so cool to the touch. So I can't thank Sherwin-Williams enough helping hook us up with that material and help keeping not only the acre safe, but keep the overall structure cool. Here's some similarities from our chicken coops. Notice, got to keep the predators out. We got this wonderful 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch black PVC coated hardware cloth. We sandwiched the walls so we have a beautiful clean look. And what I just got done installing, I've waited my whole life. I've always wanted pigeons. I can't wait to have pigeons. I've learned so much about pigeons. But look at all these V perches. Now, truth be told, I wanted to make some out of acre, but I thought, you know what? Anyone can do that. It's too easy. And this particular customer already actually has 2 pigeon coops on the property, and he wanted something bigger, and he already had these blue V perches. So I was like, let's just continue it. And he loves it, and I love it too. What a great contrast. It's almost that cobalt blue and the browns. I just think it's beautiful. So what we ended up doing is, and actually a customer of ours down in Florida who came by to visit, he said, you'll never be able to fit all 80 in this coop, all 80 of these V perches. Guess what we did? We fit all 80 and it is perfect. We got 4 of them, okay, on each vertical post, all nice and even all the way around. I just actually used a hammer to get a gauge, but it worked beautifully. And as we get this shot coming around here, oh my gosh, I don't have OCD, but I do absolutely love it. Let me fix that one there. Okay, real quick. Okay, awesome. So other than that, it's just a big run. Here's the other thing. Last night when I was asking the customer, I said, when do you want to, how high do you want your V perches? Because I also have learned in pigeon coops, you don't want the birds to be able to land too high in case you have to grab them. The last thing you're gonna want to do is try to get a ladder and think you're gonna catch a pigeon. No way. But if a bird's right here and you're tall enough to grab it, and that's exactly what the customer wanted, he said, right here, mark the line, done. And then actually one last thing while we are out here, here's what's also gonna be very different from what this customer's been doing. And I've already seen him start to do it in his other pigeon coops. We don't have sand in here. We don't have a concrete floor. We don't have all those things I see a lot of other pigeon fanciers do inside their pigeon coops. And I've already seen it work perfectly. He's just gonna use soil. We're gonna allow it to compost. We're gonna allow the microbes to do their job. In theory, he should never have to clean this out. And that is amazing. But we can pull that off because we're not gonna put too many pigeons in here. So 2 things, you gotta have a lot of space, but don't cram too many pigeons in there. If you have too high of a nitrogen load, that's gonna give you problems, all right? So make sure you got the right size diaper for the right size baby. Okay, here we go. So one more door right here, same thing as the other door, but we're just gonna open that up. And this is where we're gonna enter where all the magic happens. Here's where I wish Evan was here. Evan is a genius. I just told him what I thought we needed. He had to actually execute with the design, the research. So here we see the front side of all the breeding boxes, okay? We machined them all on the CNC machine, so they're all perfect. We had to make special jigs so we can put the poplar dowels in there perfectly. And we just cut everything on the CNC. So everything is just absolutely perfect. We got neoprene washers in between, so for the pivot point there. We got those turn button knobs right here, just like that. Just like I could pull out the tray on the outside. If I want to open this up, done. I mean, come on, so easy. If I want to open up the stainless steel floor from the inside, I can do that. I want to come in and see the babies that are going to be in here, the eggs, or they're going to hatch. You have babies over there in the corner. Mama and Papa are going to be in here protecting them. But my understanding is when you guys close them in, it really makes them, it's kind of like a forced honeymoon if you think about it, right? But you hope they're going to mate and lay the eggs. Then I believe at some point you can just open this up. Just like a ledge on a city building, the mama and papa are gonna come and go as they please. But we also have that we can close this off, just open this up, and this now acts as a perch. All these, I mean, look at, so freaking beautiful. And actually when our customer came in yesterday, we were doing a walk around. First thing he did, he just came in and just started opening them all up. I want them open, I want them open. I just love it. So now when the breeding pairs are in here, they have these as a perch to land, or we just continued the blue V perches, and it just works out perfectly. So actually, you'll notice inside here, we're just gonna continue the soil, all right? It's just grass. We just, we put in the pressure treated foundation, and we're gonna make sure that the customer could come in here. He could add soil if he wants so that we come up to the top of the pressure treated lumber, but doesn't have to. We can just let the microbes do the thing in here. You can use industrial hemp bedding in here if you wanted to, and it'll just allow the droppings to compost. But again, I can't say it enough. It works beautifully. as long as you don't overdo it. You gotta have the right size diaper for the right size baby. It's just that simple. All right, guys, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. And the message I really want to leave you guys with right now is, even though, yes, we are a chicken coop company, what we are is a company of people that love animals and love figuring out solutions. And this is a textbook example. There's nothing we can't figure out. And quite honestly, I think in this case, we are not pigeon experts, and that forced us to be creative and do some research and come up with something completely new. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If you haven't already hit that bell, wherever it is, please subscribe, because we're always putting out information. I want to make sure you guys are the first to be there. Also, don't forget Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I think we're going to start a Snapchat. I'm not sure why, but I was told we're going to start a Snapchat, so go check that out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.